Hello everybody and welcome back to Gaming on Caffeine. My name is Isaac and we are back playing some mod source here on Isaac Island. And my gosh, has it been far too long since the end of last episode. But I did promise quite a few people, both in the comment section of like some of the previous mod source videos and on a few live streams, that we would at least do 50 episodes of mod source. So we are here, and today we are going to do something pretty awesome. We are going to complete the final stage of the mechanism or multiplying process. We are going to quintuple our ores. That's 5 ingots for every 1 ore. It's pretty crazy. It's a pretty crazy setup that's pretty expensive and pretty complex to set up, but we're going to do it. For those who don't know, because this is a pretty old series by now, I think the last episode was like 3 months ago, we'll do a quick little recap. Over in this room, we have ourselves this guy over here, the compact machine, which, if we right-click on it with our little personal shrinking device, is actually its own little dimension, which is just like a little room. And within this little room, currently, all of our ores are being quadrupled. So our quarry is set up in another dimension. All the ores come through into this chest here. Those ores are then taken out. All the junk is thrown in the trash can. The ores are taken out, sent around along here into this guy over here, the chemical injection chamber, where they are turned into 4 of these, like either silver shards, iron shards, gold shards, whatever ingot it may be, and then sent through this little process of elite factories over here, and then get processed like so into ingots. And for every single one that we send through, we get 4 ingots. You can see these things are going like 4 at a time. So we get 4 ingots per 1 ore, which is pretty good. It's pretty nice to be able to get 4 ingots for every 1 ore. We get a lot of ingots, but we can always push it a little bit further, and that's exactly what we are going to do today. And the first thing we need to do is get ourselves a system which makes us sulfuric acid. Now, it's a pretty big system. I don't know if it's going to be able to fit into the compact room that we have downstairs. I haven't tested it, and I could probably make it fit if we squeezed it a bit, but we'll see. We'll see how it works. The first thing we got to do is make a couple of machines. We need 2 chemical infusers. I'm going to go ahead and make all the machines at once, and then I'll go ahead and explain why we need them. But 2 chemical infusers, which we can do like so. I did go ahead and make sure we have all of the ingredients before the episode started, so we should be good to go. We need an electrolytic separator. Electrolytic, helps if you can spell these things. Electrolytic separator. It's been a while since I've used the word electrolytic at all, but we'll take an electrolytic separator, which needs an core. And core, it needs an electron core, which needs gold dust, which apparently we don't have. That's fine. Let's grab some gold. And, oh no, look, we can request it. Boom. Next. Start. How fast is our system? Hey, it's reasonably fast. I wouldn't say it's very fast. It's reasonably fast. We'll throw that in there. We'll grab ourselves the electrolytic separator. We need a rotary condenser, which basically condenses liquids. Let's see here. Is the rotary condenser there? I'm just going to go type in condenser. This guy over here. And basically what we're going to use this for is to turn water into steam. So we'll take one of you. Thank you very much. And then finally, the last machine that we need before we move on past the sulfuric acid is the chemical oxidizer. So I'm just going to go ahead and type in oxidizer. That is this guy over here. Again, fairly easy to make if you happen to have an electric chest lying around. I know for a fact that we don't have a chest. Do we have some wood? We have 27,000 wood, so that is not going to be an issue at all. Let's go ahead and grab our second chest and get ourselves the chest. Nice. And then we'll grab ourselves this guy, and we should, is it not going to let me shift click that in? Be good to go. Nice. All right. So what we need to do here is set these guys up. So I'm deciding where I should put these. First of all, I'm going to grab my wireless access terminal so I can grab stuff out of the AE system whilst we're out and about. Wireless access terminal. Then I'm going to see if we have a tesseract. We do not. Now, I did move the tesseract before the episode started. I went and checked on my ore quadrupling system and it wasn't working. I moved the tesseract down underneath here. So the tesseract is now, I don't think we can see it from here, but it's now just kind of here. So it's pulling energy out of the capacitor bank. Previously, we had it over here, kind of above this this rolling machine. So all of the energy being produced by our big reactor was going straight into the tesseract, and I think most of that was going to the quarry. So now what's happening is all of our energy is kind of being centered at this vibrant capacitor bank, which can hold 225 million redstone flux, and then being sent out into the tesseract and then round to wherever it needs to go, either whether it be the quarry or the mechanism machines or anything like that. So I'm going to try and put it in here. I'm going to try and set everything up in here. Now, there's probably quite a bit of stuff I could do to make this look, like, be a bit more condensed. First of all, I have no idea why we have birchwood in here at all, but we'll get rid of that. There's no real need for that to be there. And we'll see if we can set this up. So, the first thing we need to do is make sulfur dioxide. And sulfur dioxide is made by putting sulfur into the chemical oxidizer. So, let's grab our chemical oxidizer. Let's find somewhere where we can give it power. I'm going to put it here for now. This is probably going to turn out to be a terrible place, but I'm going to put it here. And I don't think we can access our wireless system. No, we can't. We should really set up a sub-AE system in here at some point. But basically, what this does is it turns sulfur into sulfur dioxide. So, yeah, sulfur into sulfur dioxide, I'm pretty sure is what it does. So, let's go back. Let's see if we have any sulfur. I think we do. Yeah, we got 1,000 sulfur, which is pretty nice. And if we stick this into the oxidizer, that should give us sulfur dioxide. And it did. Nice. Alright. So that's what does that. Then the next thing that we need to do is we're going to use the sulfur dioxide with some oxygen to make sulfur trioxide. But before that, we need to obviously make oxygen itself. I think we're making oxygen over here, which I believe is going into this. No, this is hydrogen. What are we using our oxygen for? Our oxygen is currently being used for this. So I think we can probably spare a little bit of it to go around to this guy. Sorry, to go around to the electrolytic separator with... Oh, no, wait. No. Okay, no. I'm lying to you. What we need to do is we need to get ourselves a chemical infuser, and combine oxygen with the sulfur dioxide to make sulfur trioxide. So, I will put that there, like this, and that should pull the sulfur dioxide into one of these slots, I think. I'm fairly certain that should work, but it doesn't seem to be. Do we have to set it to auto output? I don't think we do, but this should work. The chemical infuser should receive stuff here. Let me try turning this round real quick. That might have something to do with it. Does that work? Empty and empty. No, it does not work. All right, let me look at this. Okay, so I came back. I thought I was recording. Turns out I wasn't. Basically, what we've had to do, I'll walk you through this here. We've had, like, the craziest system in the world. We now have this chemical oxidizer, which is producing sulfuric acid, sulfur dioxide from the sulfur, which, for some reason, didn't want to output directly to the chemical infuser, but now what we have going on is it's coming out and it's going into here. The sulfuric acid is then being combined with oxygen, which we were already producing over here on this side of the room in these little electrolytic separators, which take the water and break it down into hydrogen and oxygen. The oxygen was originally being used for this. It's still being used for this elite factory, and the hydrogen is being used over here for other stuff, but basically they're being combined over here to make sulfur trioxide. The sulfur trioxide then needs to be combined with water vapor to make sulfuric acid. So what we have is we have this pipe, these pressurized tubes, which I made quite a few of between the cut, going around and entering the system here, entering this chemical infuser, which isn't touching this pipe here because of the way it's backwards faced. I've spent like 10 minutes here trying to make sure none of these pipes with different gases touch, but this is now going around, and the sulfur trioxide is going around and ending up in this side of the chemical infuser. And then on this side, we have the rotary condenser. You have to go ahead and hit toggle operation so that it's set to decondensating, which is going to take the water and turn it into water vapor. Water obviously being collected from this thing over here. Set into this, you need to make sure the liquid side is connected to your little water pipe, and the gas side is connected to either some pressurized tubes or a chemical infuser. And as you see, if they're both combined here, we get ourselves sulfuric acid. It doesn't need power. We did go ahead and hook all of these machines that require power up with power. The condenser over here does not, but we are now getting a sulfuric acid, which is great. Now, the sulfuric acid needs to go into one of 3 machines, and the 3 machines, it's actually going to work out, I think, quite nicely, and it should indeed fit in this room. So, let's go back. We've used all the machines that we made at the start of the episode, apart from the electrolytic separator. The reason why I made that is because I didn't think we would have enough oxygen in the system we had already, which apparently we do, so we don't need it. We're already breaking down water into hydrogen and oxygen. So, what we need to do now is we need to make 3 more machines. The first one of which is a chemical dissolution chamber. So, chemical dissolution chamber. That's this guy over here. I think this is the hardest one to make. It's 4 basic circuits, 2 tanks, 2 enriched alloys, then the atomic alloy, which is probably the hardest bit of it. These mechanism machines are actually not all that expensive to make, which is pretty nice. We then need a chemical washer. made like so, he says, as nothing works. Basic, oh, we don't have any basic circuits, no! Okay, what do we need for basic circuits? We need redstone, osmium, that should not be too bad. Osmium, we should be okay for this. Let's see, which one of our metallurgic infusers does redstone? Apparently right now, none of them is the answer. Thankfully, we have quite a bit of redstone, so we'll do that, and these things should be working at max speed, so getting 4 of those is not going to be hard at all. We then need redstone and iron. So we'll take 4 of those. We'll grab some iron, and we'll try this again. That should get us 2 of those. I think we might have been missing the tank as well, but that's fairly easy. And the osmium case is also fairly easy. So I will take all those, and we should be good to go. All right. You can go in there. You can go in there. Let's try this again. We'll make one of you, and we'll make one of you. And boom. Nice. I guess it's the chemical washer. And then finally, we need the chemical crystallizer, which is this guy over here. I don't know if we're going to have everything. We don't. We're missing 2 tanks, which again, it should be fairly easy. We have a lot of osmium and a lot of pulverized iron. We need another block of steel casing. And then finally, of course, we need 4 more of those basic circuits, which is fairly easy. It's just osmium and redstone. We can get forward. Actually, I'm just gonna leave that running because we're probably going to need more of these basic circuits at some point in the future. But we'll stick that in there, and we will grab ourselves a chemical crystallizer. Nice. So these are actually the final 3 machines that we are going to need in order to set everything up in here. So let's head on back and let's see if we can actually get this up and running. So the way this is going to work is the chemical dissolution chamber requires the sulfuric acid and is actually where we're going to start putting all of our ores. So can we just stick that down there? We can, and it starts filling up with sulfuric acid. Now, of course, we can go ahead and stick upgrades into some of these machines, like this guy here, not this guy here. I think, yeah, we could put upgrades into the chemical oxidizer to get sulfur faster, and I don't actually think we can make, like, speed up any of these other processes. So, if we want to make this nice and fast, we would probably just have to make a lot of chemical infusers, a lot of decondensating machines, and stuff like that. But for now, I just want to kind of show off how this is done. The next one in the line is the chemical washer, which we're going to put there, and then finally is the crystallizer. So, what's going to happen here is let's head back. Oh, no, I don't want to head back. I was going to head back to get some ore. Do we have any ore in the system? We have a little bit. Let's take some copper ore. We could have just taken it from the chest that's already in there, but we'll take some copper ore here real quick. And basically what happens now is using the sulfuric acid, and I believe power as well. Yeah, we are going to have to power all these machines, and I think we're probably going to run into some power issues at some point with this. But basically, this is going to turn the ore into ore slurry. So I put that in there. It's going to go along. We can speed these machines up if we wanted to. But that's going to turn these ores into ore slurry. Copper ore slurry, which is then cleaned in the chemical washer. This thing does require water. So we are going to have to get some water over here. Is there a gap there? There isn't. Although I don't think that's going to be too big of a deal. Let's go grab some fluid conduits. Let's see here. Fluid. We got 50. Nice. That should be more than enough. We will head back. This thing does, of course, require water because it's going to wash the stuff. This place is such a mess. Let's go around and then into there. And then if we just simply right-click, that should connect nicely. And that should turn the ore slurry into a clean ore slurry if it actually goes ahead and receives the water. Why insert? Why you know? Do I have to, like, insert it in a specific area, like, into the top? Is that a thing that I have to do? Yes, it is. Okay, so that's going to go ahead, and that's going to process the copper slurry into clean copper slurry, which is then going to get turned in this machine here, or should then get turned, once we get enough copper ore slurry, you can see it's working right now, into 5 shards, I think, is what we're going to get right now. No, we get a copper crystal, but I think the way this works is that 1 copper ore, let's leave this running. We've put 1 copper in there. The copper is being sent through. I think 1 copper ore should get us 5 copper crystals. And then after that, we send that through to this guy over here, the chemical injection chamber. And then it runs along the normal process for quadrupling ores. And we should get 4 times. So at that point, by the way, this thing will no longer quadruple. You'll see right now. Let me disconnect this for a second. If I go ahead and get rid of you, you are not working because you don't have enough of what's in here. And you're not working because you don't have enough of what's coming through there, which I think is the brine. I think we have to be in the overworld for the brine to come through. So we'll look at that in a second. But that gets us 5 copper crystals. Let me head back to the overworld and check how our brine situation is doing. It's not doing great. It's the answer here. That is because it is evening, so we will go ahead and sleep the The towers are, of course, only working during the evening. And this is where I question where my bed is. I think it's down in the blood magic room, if I'm not mistaken. It is. Can we sleep with that spider there? We cannot. I'm sorry, my friend. You gotta go. Gotta go. We do also have witches upstairs, which could also be a bit of an issue. Yeah. Okay. Let's take this. Let's go sleep somewhere else. We do have our witch spawner set up right there. So that's probably another reason why we cannot sleep down here. So, let's go, like, all the way to the surface. Let's sleep. Let's sleep by... I was gonna say by Caffeine, but Caffeine's busy. She's just sat there. Let's instead sleep like here. There we go. Beautiful. All right, we'll sleep here. That should get the brine back up and running, and should set the Orc Quadrupler back up and running. At which point, everything should work pretty nicely. So let's grab another transfer node of some kind. We'll take one of you and a bunch of pipes. I'm gonna make a couple more pipes real quick, because I think 6 is probably not going to be enough. Please tell me we have what it takes. No, we never have what it takes. Stone. Do we have any actual stone and not cobblestone? It doesn't look like we do. But then again, this shouldn't actually take all too long with our nice octadic capacitor in there. So we'll get ourselves some stone. And then this is pretty much it. That should allow us to go ahead and quadruple all of our ores, which, if you ask me, is pretty awesome. All right, let's try this. Boom. Done. Let's head on back down. What I'm going to do real quick here is I'm going to disconnect this, because that's where our ores are going to come into, and I want to see us get 5 copper ingots from 1 copper ore. That's what I want to see happen here. So this room, jeez. Let's try not to look at the room too much. Let's go ahead and put down a transfer node onto the end of this. That should start to pull out the copper there, and then we're going to send that around. We're going to get rid of these ones for now, and we're going to have that loop round and up into here. And that should work very nicely indeed. Hopefully, yeah, we've got more than enough pipes. This should be fine. Let's do that. Get rid of you. That should put that into there. We are starting to fill it with hydrogen chloride again because it is sunny outside. Let's get some of the speed upgrades and go and stick those in this one, because now all of our stuff is coming through here. So I'll put that in. Actually, that's already gone. All right. So that should... Maybe, is this working? The system's pretty fast. We might have missed it. Let's go back. Let's go back. Is it working? Is it working? Did it work? Was all our hard work? It did. Look at that. We got 4 copper ingots. So, let's go back now. And if we try that again, we might be able to actually watch the thing go through this time. And my gosh, this room is such a mess. I know I keep saying it, but it's actually horrible. But we'll stick that in there. That should go through, and we should have 5 more. While that's doing that, we need to find a way. I say find a way. We need to just make sure that all of our stuff is now going down into this guy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you there. I'm then going to get rid of you and you, because we need to have our ores go into this thing. So let's see if we can actually... Oh, come on now. Let's see if we can get this to work. So I want this system to actually just like fully 100% function. Oh, look at that. Perfect amount. So that should start sending around. We'll go ahead and put those speed upgrades back in. I shouldn't really have taken those out of there. But if I put those speed upgrades back in here, we should now see copper ore over in here. We do, and our system is complete. All of our stuff is now going to get quadrupled using the, quintupled, multiplied by 5 through this system, sent through here, up and around into this guy. This guy is going to send them through to here. Then once they end up in here, did that go through right? I think it did. These elite factories are all on full speed, so these things are actually really fast. And once it's all done, we can go back to the overworld. And look at this. Boom. 9. That should go ahead and add 1 more in a second here, if it's set up correctly. 10. There we go. We got 10, which was our first 2 going through the process there. And with that, guys, I'm going to end this episode of Mod Source right there. I'm going to hook this back up here. As always, it is episode 50. There will be a link down in the description to the world download. If you would like to download this, we have a fully set up system where all of the ores are being quintupled. This is the last episode of Mod Source, guys. I know it's been a long time between last episode and this episode, but thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like, and I will see you guys next time.